fossil fuel use and overall efficiency.
A lot of people that I know who own these cars, one of their biggest expenses is every 3 or some odd years they have to replace all the batteries. It's a very expensive cost.
Both plug-in, hybrid, as well as pure electric vehicle developers, they're essentially owning the batteries, and through the arrangement, you're actually buying amp hours off of the battery system that you have in your car.
Can you please explain the meters that you're changing out? You said that there's 8,000 new meters in Hawaii, and a little bit more about what that procedure is.
Yeah, right now here in Oahu we have about 8,000 of these smart meters already deployed. Just as a point of reference, we have just under 300,000 meter customers here in Oahu. Right now we're using these smart meters to do several things. First of all, we're using it to test out the technology. So I'm not sure if any of you live in Ocean Point or know of the Ocean Point area, but Ocean Point has been our sort of test bed of these meters. So we're actually using these meters to monitor and bill our customers, and using not just the smart meters themselves, but a communication network that allows us to read those meters remotely.
That diagram right there, we talked about education, talked about just a little discussion about knowing the efficiency of your car versus your home. Once you know where you're at, it's a lot easier to know, am I doing well, am I doing poorly, or to get some decisions to be made. All these financial decisions, we talked about liquidity, you talked about things, you need to know where you're at. If you don't know where your cash is, you don't know what's going on, I don't know, everything's okay. But if you're like, wow, my cash is really tight, I better concentrate on this. Energy efficiency is kind of the same way. You could be very efficient and not know it. So this is us. That's a big diagram. We've got lots of things going on here. The Public Utilities Commission is our boss. We are working on a state contract that was bid out late last year, and awarded this early this year. We've got a contracts manager. So it's an independent contractor that's actually looking over what we do. So he's watching out to make sure we do what we said we're going to do, and also to kind of guide the process, because there's going to be an M&D contractor, which is underneath him, that will be providing if we do something, is it really saving? So we have to make sure that we're using your money, intelligently and effectively.
The value of interconnecting our islands electrically doesn't touch on the stability that adds to the grid. It doesn't touch on the environmental impact of reducing the burning of those barrels of oils that would proceed from that. It doesn't touch on the impact of that money going into those communities which are struggling. So there's really, I just give that as an example of, when people talk about this transition, we came up with a number. We said this is about a $16 billion investment. And people are like, wow, that's just a lot of money. But the fact is, we spend over $7 billion a year in energy. So it's not that great of an investment at all. It's a tremendous investment, and it's an investment in us, rather than paying people more than they need and shifting. One of the biggest transfers of capital has happened here over the last half century from the Western world. Hard-earned capital that we've created, wealth we've created from our intellect, from our resources, and have shipped them off to people's. They're not bad people, but I don't know that their values are aligned with ours, and we want to be able to invest that in ourselves, and certainly we want to invest it here in our state.
Money is important. I believe part of sustainability is not just the tree hugging, it's also how important it is to be strong economically, to be strong socially, and be strong financially. I think the most important thing in any kind of sustainability or any kind of change in an organization is changing the attitude of the employees, changing the attitudes of us. It is the most important part of all changes is that you communicate to your employees why you're doing it. We in the United States have a problem with management. Management thinks they're very smart and they are not. Wall Street. Listen to the employees and have them help you, and you're going to be a successful business, and I'm sure you are.
These are the people that we hire. These are legislators. Those are stakeholders. So overall, awareness is raising, and our stakeholders are becoming more and more aware of businesses and whether or not we're sustainable or green businesses, and whether we take that seriously. So another group of stakeholders that is keenly tuned in to the changing green marketplace are consumers.
Our co-sponsors for this event, the Ulupono Initiative. I will let them introduce the initiative themselves, but I would like to introduce the individuals that are general partners with the Ulupono Initiative. Kyle Data and Robin Campaniano. Robin is the president and CEO of AIG Hawaii, and Kyle has a long history of a number of organizations in Hawaii, including a U.S. Biodiesel, Rocky Mountain Institute, Booz Allen Hamilton. They are both stalwarts of the business community here in Hawaii and are very much respected in the community. So I will invite them to the podium to introduce the Ulupono Initiative. Thank you.
I want to be really respectful of your time. I know the session should have ended by now. So we're going to do a really encapsulated summary of our presentation. Last year when I spoke at, I think, the Chamber's first sustainability exercise, it was done as a, from the perspective of AIG Hawaii as a tenant. Many speakers before, in the earlier part of the session last year, spoke about broad-scale efforts in sustainability. But the threshold question for many Chamber members, which I got as a result of my talk last year, was, hey, this sustainability thing is all well and good, and I understand it conceptually, but are people really going to spend 25 cents more on my plate lunch if I serve them in a recyclable or biodegradable container? Especially now, when my customers are going out on furlough. When it comes down to sustainability, it's a pocketbook issue. The second question I got a lot of following last year's seminar was, I love the concept of green, but the number one sustainability issue for me and my colleagues is how are we going to sustain ourselves as a business in this economy next year? And it's our contribution to the situation in Hawaii, how we're going to make Hawaii a more independent place, how we're going to make it a more sustainable place, how we're going to return to our local values. And perhaps the best way to do it is to have my partner tell you about how you take it away.
Thanks, Robin. I want to thank the Chamber for inviting us today, and this is an important initiative for these times. Let me tell you a bit about the Ulupono Initiative and our vision and our posture. So the Ulupono Initiative, we're a hybrid organization. We're both an investment fund and we're also philanthropy. And we really see this as an initiative, which means it's all of us in it together, not just one organization. We very much believe that a healthy environment and a strong economy go hand in hand, and we have to care about both. As Robin said, you have to make sure the business is going to be in place. Our products that we're doing that are green are going to be competitive in the global marketplace. And we strongly believe this can happen. And we believe this can happen because we believe sustainability can be the engine of innovation in the 21st century. And it's going to be innovation that carries us forward to the next level of productivity that makes our society vibrant, strong, and environmentally sustainable. Our vision is that we expect to see sustainability over the course of the next 1-2 decades not be a niche issue, but to be part of the way we live. We have to work together and bring our patches together in this book to keep us all warm together. So with that, we want to thank you for your time. We're very excited to be here. And feel free to visit us on our website for more information about our initiative. And we look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.